to be University, Pune College of Pharmacy. I welcome you all to this valedictory function of the 47th AICTE sponsored STC titled National Education Policy 2020. Today we have with us as chief guest Dr. V.K. Maurya sir, Principal, Government College of Pharmacy, Aurangabad. A very warm welcome to you, sir. We also have with us Dr. Atmaram Pawar, Principal, Pune College of Pharmacy and Chief Coordinator of QIP Cell. Dr. Varsha Pokharkar, Vice Principal and Dean of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Dr. L. Satyanarayanan, Vice Principal and Co-Coordinator of QIP Cell. I welcome all the dignitaries and all the delegates for this valedictory function. I now request Dr. L. Satyanarayanan to kindly give a welcome address.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. Respected today's chief guest, Dr. V.K. Maurya sir. Respected Principal of the College, Dr. Atmaram Pawar, Vice Principal and Dean, Dr. Varsha Pokharkar. Coordinator of this particular AICTE short-term course program, Dr. H.K. Jain. My dear colleagues and all delegates, I hope you all have enjoyed last 1 week program of AICTE STC under QIP scheme. And in the beginning of that program, during inaugural session, our principal has given a brief view about the Pune College of Pharmacy. And today's guest, Dr. Maurya sir, he is well associated with Pune College of Pharmacy since long. And here he is much aware about the Pune College of Pharmacy, so I don't want to repeat about our credentials. But however, sir, we just would like to share some information regarding this AICTE QIP cell that already you are aware. We are conducting such quality improvement program more than 15 years since the inception of this QIP cell, when there was very few colleges in India as a QIP cell, which was recognized as AICTE QIP cell, and Pune College of Pharmacy was one of the one, and now still we are continuing this. And from this year, and the AICTE has made in such a way the programs. Previously, we used to conduct the 2 weeks program. Every year, 3 programs we used to conduct. Now the AICTE has changed its pattern to 1 week program so that we can able to have more topics and more discussions can be done with the different audience. So this year we have some around 6 programs we have already planned. And this is the second program. We have successfully conducted 1 program in the last program, that is in biotechnology. And this program in National Education Policy, one of the important one that the government of India is trying to implement in the future, so that all the pharmacy professionals, we should be ready for that, and we should explore what are all the components of the NEP. And just to initiate that thing, the coordinator of today's program, that Dr. Hemant Jain, he has taken a lot of efforts to take the topic of NEP with eminent speakers. And I think he will be giving the brief view about those, the summary of the program. And the program was done very much successfully, which started with the inauguration with our AICTE director of that faculty development program, Colonel Vengat, who is the very much supportive factor for our program. And he also, in his remark, he mentioned about the importance of NEP and also such programs which will create awareness among the faculty members for these things. So, sir, today is the valedictory. We are very much happy to have such a eminent personality and a well-experienced person in the pharmacy field. You are having such a vast experience. With your experience, you know how to take forward this NEP in future, and the delegates are very much eager to hear from you, so that it would be a very much appropriate person for today's valedictory. So thank you so much, sir, for your valuable presence on behalf of Bharati Vidyapeeth University, Pune College of Pharmacy, and behalf of our faculty members and the principals and vice principal. I extend a warm welcome to you for today's program. Thank you so much, sir, for your presence today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Satya sir. I now request the coordinator for this STC, Dr. Hemant Kumar Jain sir, to kindly give an overview of the program.
Am I audible, madam?
Yes, sir.
Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. V.K. Maurya, In Charge Principal, Dr. Pawar, Dean and Vice Principal, Dr. Pokharkar, madam, Vice Principal, Dr. Satyanarayan, HODs, faculty members, all the participants from the various parts of the country. Thanks everyone, as well as AICTE, to help me in the wonderful journey. The title of the STC is the National Education Policy 2020. And for this STC, we have set certain objectives. The objectives were regarding planning and preparation by the faculty and institute for successful implementation of NEP 2020, creation of self-motivated and energized faculty, promotion of excellent learning environment for overall development of students, leadership practices, and exploration of the holistic value-based education. So as per earlier feedback received by some participants, the objectives were fulfilled and our resource person provided the various aspects of the NEP. In this STC, best resource person were made available to the participants who are renowned expert in their area. On day one, Dr. Pawar has discussed about various points of NEP 2020, useful for pharmacy education, like improvement of thinking skill, creative and critical thinking, flipped classroom concept, institutions should work as a cluster, etc. He has discussed so many things. Same day, Dr. Bandana Patrawale from Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, has effectively explained about importance of the multidisciplinary education. She has also given the emphasis on research orientation in wonderful way. On second day, an interactive session was conducted by me where importance of simple physical activities as well as yoga was discussed for more energy, better physical as well as mental health. In next session, Dr. Bhatt has given the delivery on NEP 2020 and examination reforms, who is working as a controller of examination at GSS Academy. Looking importance of leadership and management practice, another interactive session was conducted by Dr. Dice from Government College of Pharmacy, Karad. He has nicely explained the different types of the leadership and how to develop the leadership. In another talk, constructive communication and power of non-verbal communication was given by Dr. Khandelwal, who worked for capacity building initiative for teachers as well as students. On day 3, a valuable talk was conducted by Dr. Pokharkar on National Research Foundation. She has also explained about the innovation and research outcome, etc. In next session, Dr. Satyanarayan has taken the lecture on holistic education. He explained the way of thinking by the teacher for effective teaching and various tools. Same day, in the second half session, Mr. Shiv Puje explained the role of a startup. And in the last session of the second half, Mr. Kumboje interacted on the competence building in the student as well as staff by interesting presentation as well as various videos. He has also told the various links where we can develop the competency. On day 4, interactive session was taken by Mr. Barkur on emotional intelligence, and followed by Dr. Argade explained various ICT techniques used in the teaching and learning process by excellent presentation. On same day, Mrs. Tom from the Government Engineering College, Vellore, who worked a lot for the rural participation, so she has taken the lecture on social inclusion as well as rural participation in solving the issue of our village in the light of NEP 2020. In next session, the role of the educator enhancing the competency of the student was explained by international speaker Dr. Chauhan. And this STC also having the many national speakers from the UHP and IKS background. So on 5th day, Indian knowledge system in the context of NEP 2020 was discussed by Dr. G. Murthy, who is National Coordinator of the IKS Division, AICTE, and working at Indian Institute of Technology, Indore. And followed by need of universal human value in the context of NEP 2020 was discussed by Dr. Dubey. In second half, motivational strategy has been discussed by renowned motivator Dr. Burande. And today, the demonstration and practice session was conducted on yoga as well as meditation by yoga demonstrator Ms. Khushbu and Mrs. Jyoti from Mrityunjay Yog Kendra, Bhopal. So I assure that the participant will have benefited by this STC. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jain sir. Moving forward in the program, it is indeed my pleasure and honor to introduce to you all our chief guest for today's function, Dr. Maurya sir. He is Principal, Government College of Pharmacy, Aurangabad. He has done his MPharm and PhD in pharmaceutical sciences and has worked at various levels in academia and industry. He has previously worked with NDMVP Samaj's College of Pharmacy and also with Ranbaxy Research Laboratories. Sir has handled projects worth more than 1.5 crores funded by various government organizations and has several industrial project collaborations as well. His areas of interest include molecular modeling, nanotechnology, herbal formulation, dental formulations, computer applications, instrumental analysis, e-content development. Sir has several publications, book chapters, and conference proceedings to his credit and has mentored several postgraduate and doctoral students. Consecutively for last 2 years, Sir has appeared in the list of top 2% scientists globally in the study conducted by Stanford University. He has over 3,500 citations and an H index of 23. Sir's contributions to the social areas include dense forest plantations, Dattak Palak Yojana, food adulteration detection camps, anemia detection camps, Prayas movement for supporting poor children, blood donation camps, and the like. With this short introduction, I now request Sir to kindly express his views to the gathering.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Can I share my screen?
Yes, sir.
So, thank you very much to Bharati Vidyapeeth, especially my friend, Dr. Pawar, the person to whom I admire most in academics, Dr. Pokharkar, Dr. Satyanarayana, Dr. Hemant Jain, and all of my friends and participants. Today, I'm really feeling honored to be the part of this particular program at the end. In these 6 days meet, you have learned many things about National Education Policy 2020, which is the topic of great concern to all teaching fraternity in India. Many things have been said. I have just seen the list as well as the content delivered by a very eminent people who were either at the policy maker side or who are the policy practitioners. They have given their deliberation to a great depth. I'm afraid that really I can contribute now anything which is left during these 6 days, but still, as my duty and as my experience is there, I will try to give a holistic picture of this concept of National Education Policy 2020, and now it is being referred as 2022. So dear friend, the content of the policy have been explained in great depth, but still many of the aspects regarding the policy principles, their need and their implementation and doubts are there in our mind as basic educators. Based on my experience, my reading, my interaction with the experts and policy makers, whatever thing I am having, I will try to consolidate them in a small time, and I hope that it will be an effort to give the answer to those questions which were otherwise not taken up by the previous speakers. If anything is overlapping, I apologize in the beginning itself. So, dear friend, I start this deliberation of National Education Policy with one of my favorite person, Sardar Hashmi. You might be knowing this gentleman was a student activist working in Bihar and UP, and his small poem excerpt is there, which is referring, पढ़ो लिखा है दीवारों पर मेहनत कश का नारा, पढ़ो पोस्टर क्या कहता है वो भी दोस्त तुम्हारा, पढ़ो अगर अंधविश्वासों से पाना है छुटकारा, पढ़ो किताबें कहती हैं सारा संसार तुम्हारा. This man was the one person who has improved the depth of the impact of the Nukkad Natak in common public to educate them towards the importance of education. I am realizing that in this poem, which was very popular at that time, few words to which I have highlighted in the form of red fonts. First line has got Mehnat Kash, which is emphasizing the need of reading or education to become work-oriented. And it is motivating us to do very hard work during our educational journey. The second word, that the reading is a friendship. He is a friend. If you are taking it friendly, it will help you to give a better design to your life, and the outcome of the life will be what you are expecting. The third thing to which I have highlighted is the freedom from all those beliefs which are not correct, they are myth. The meaning is that you have to be in tune with what world demands today. What was yesterday was a past. What is today and what will come tomorrow, you have to understand that. And the last thing, he has emphasized the book. In today's nomenclature, we will say learning material. And it was telling, Sara Sansar Tumhara, the whole world is yours. Now, in this small word, in the local language, he has indicated the philosophy of the education which should be imparted to the society. With the advent of the new government, which is led by Manni Pradhan Mantri, Dr. Manni Pradhan Mantri Modi ji, he set an agenda for 2030 for education, which was having the main component for education having 4 sectors. One was ease of reach. The education should be thus such that it should become available to everyone. Removing their bottleneck can make this dream true. So, increasing the reach, what efforts should be made? They should be made. So it requires a policy framework. The second component was equality. You give equal opportunity to all and leaving the barriers like of gender, like of the caste, like of the financial status, and so on and so forth. So equality was the second major component of this policy. Third was quality. The India is having the natural benefit of having the younger people in maximum number across the globe. We say that worldwide, India is the youngest country. If India is youngest country, then future is ours. We can become the world leader. But this is possible only when you have the ability to reach in knowledge domain to the international standards. And the component of responsibility means that whatever task society gives you, you should be able to fulfill it. And simultaneously, our education system should be such that it should provoke continuous development of a person who will be suitable to human mankind globally, not only locally. So, dear friend, this philosophy needs to be converted in the form of a policy framework, which was possible only by designing a new national education policy. Since independent, India has strived very hard to streamline its educational policy despite of the problems of diversity in thinking, diversity in capabilities, diversity of the mindset, diversity of the languages, and most important is the diversity of the cultural values. We are fortunate that we live in diversity. Still, we are more fortunate that we think for unity. So, national education policy framework making is the journey towards unity or unification, but not at the cost of losing the diversity beauty. This is a very challenging task, and which was started in the year of 1964. Unfortunately, for more than 30 years, this policy could not be changed. And because of that, our educational system was not having that much of the impact. So as a summary, that what is the history of national educational policy? I will brief it. That the first effort was made in 1968 by appointing a national commission named as Kothari Commission, which has worked in 1964 to 1966 and gave the recommendation to the government. And the prime point for this Kothari Commission was that education is of national concern. Unless and until you will not make it as a national concern, probably our youth will not have the impact globally. And second thing, important point of this policy was that it was focused upon education to all up to 14 years age. So whosoever has attained 14 years age, they should have the right to get the education, better training, and quality of teachers. These were the important point. The third important point was promotion to teaching of Sanskrit, as it is the integral part of Indian culture. If you go from north to south, east to west, if one language which joins everyone, which is considered to be the mother of all languages, is Sanskrit. Kothari Commission has emphasized this language to be the part of educational policy so that we can learn, we can preserve, and we can think as per the Indian culture. And it was proposed that of the central budget, around 6% should be kept as an expenditure for education. And they have recommended the 3-language formula. One is the mother language, second is English, and third is Sanskrit, like this. So these Kothari Commission recommendation, government has tried to implement, but in implementing them, there were several hiccups. These hiccups were local or for financial reasons. And because of that, the education system in India could not have the homogeneity, and although we have grown up in sectors, but the holistic development could not take place. And as a result, the government was forced to think, to review the impact of this policy. And the major impact was that there was the disparity in opportunity of education among various strata of the community. There were lack of facilities for educating the people. There were less opportunity for higher education to the people at rural area. Hence, the new education policy was constructed in 1986, and the focus was changed to equal opportunity factor to educate females, SC and ST people. And there was a launching of an operation which was named as Operation Blackboard. This was mainly focused to upgrade quality of primary education. The third major point of NEP 1986 was that to promote the open learning culture, open university culture was started with the establishment of well-renowned platform, IGNOU, which was the contribution to the country by late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. And this venture was known as Indira Gandhi National Open University. And in this policy, there was a call for rural university to promote financial and social development of rural India, which was actually based upon the philosophy given by Mahatma Gandhi. 1986, this policy was implemented, executed to the great extent. But when this policy was implemented, certain problems have arisen. And these problems were identified by the experts, and hence there was the amendment of national education policy, which was known as amendment in NEP 1992. And there was a need felt for the revival of the procedures, review of the procedures for professional courses. And hence, first time it was recommended that throughout the country, there must be a common entrance procedure for professional and technical courses, so that every person will have the equal opportunity to go to the good institute, irrespective of their limitations of state, caste, and finance. And there was a mandate for organizing JEE and AICTE. And for state level, there was the mandate to operate the admission procedure through state level engineering entrance exams. It has solved the problem of financial burdens and multiple entrance examination, which was faced by the student of that time to appear in the entrance examinations of various state or various institute. So if we look to the history of Indian education policy, we come to know that there was a large gap between two policies, despite of the fact that in 1964, it was committed by the government that these policies will be reviewed after every 5 years. It was a very, very big lapse in the part of implementation of the policies, because at that time, the priorities of the country were different. So education could not get the prime focus. But when country became stabilized and a need was felt, a group of experts have given their opinion to PMO. So a thought emerged that really now there is a need of change in the policy for giving education to the citizens of India. And there were three needs. First need was that there were a lot of global changes and India was emerging as one of the big financial power throughout the world, because the Indian skilled persons were accepted throughout the world, and the world was controlled with the country's economy. But the economy can be boosted only when the citizens are having the knowledge. So government has felt the need of building knowledge-based economy through education, so that we can cope up with the global changed scenario. The second need which was felt, that is to improve quality of education, along with making our mark in innovations and research. In the first NEP, the expansion clause was achieved. The education was reaching to a large number of population. But the second point of controlling the quality could not be achieved. And there were not significant measures advised by the tops so that quality can be controlled. And as teacher, every one of us is feeling that there is a very urgent need to control the quality of education. In comparison to the other parts of the world, we are very poor in between our presence in a heat maps of innovation throughout the world. So there is a need to think how innovations can be made. And despite of the number of publications given by the country, we don't have the useful researches. So these three areas should be focused by introspections and making the model for that. And third need which was there is to ensure reach of Indian education up to global standards. The main importance of this point is that the Indian top students, they migrate to the other country to take the educations like US and Europe, now China. Our brain are migrating to those countries. Our economy is getting diverted to those countries, and a significant amount of money is being drained as foreign exchange. But if our education system becomes so powerful and equal to the global value, then the reverse trend can be achieved, that the foreign students, they will turn to India and will take the education. So there will be the reverse flow of economy, and education industry will emerge out as one of the future industry where the financial status of the country will be improved through education. So these three were the major need of thinking over the change in the education policy. And with this motive, the National Education Policy 2020 was laid down in the form of a draft after discussing with the parliamentary members. And this draft was there on website. The people were asked to give the suggestions, and hence this policy was drafted, about which you have been told by many experts during this session. I will not go into details of these segments. If needed, I can answer the questions, but the salient features of this policy can be divided in 6 groups. There's a first segment of this policy is dedicated to reforms in primary education. And now the system is changed from 10+2 to 5+3+3, like this. So this reform in primary education is dedicated to reduce the weight of the baggage and providing the learning which was the timely needed in a fashion which can be easily taken by a child. And the entry age is kept at 6 years because medically it is understood well that up to 6 years the brain is fully developed. That is around the tune of around 80%. This segment may not be of much concern to us, which is related to primary education. And then the second major component of this policy is protection to the linguistic diversity. India has the beauty that we have many languages, we have many dialects, and psychologically it is very clear that if you teach someone in his local language, then he understands the things better. But in case of professional and technical education, it is a problem that we don't have teaching and learning material in local language. We have most of the literature in English language, and that's why even though we have got the brilliant brain in youngers, they are not capable to digest those concepts of technical education to that depth which otherwise they can have in the local language. In this direction, many attempts are being made, and one of the great effort is there to convert technical literature in local language. I still remember Bharati Vidyapeeth has the remarkable effort in this direction, especially the point which can be noted, and I have personally felt the effort taken by Dr. Atmaram Pawar long back when he wrote a book in Marathi for pharmacists. I feel everyone must appreciate that effort, that what a pharmacist can do to the community if this content is translated into local language. The understanding of the society for the pharmacy profession will be increased many folds. Now, in this direction, Maharashtra government has taken a big measure that they are trying to start the technical education in Marathi language, and in this direction they have started establishing first polytechnic in Marathi language. But in this direction, a lot of work has to be done, and AICTE is promoting converting this literature of technical education in local languages. All teachers are welcome for these schemes. The third component was reforms in syllabus and evaluation system. Unfortunately, our syllabus system, which is existing, and our evaluation system, which is existing, it is promoting the psychological concept of what to think. But in this new policy, rather than what to think, there is a paradigm shift that it is focused to inculcate the culture of how to think. These two diversified concepts are basically focused for giving a fish to a hungry person or teaching the fishing to the hungry persons. If you teach how to fish, the person will be successful throughout the life. This is one of the very major points of the NEP 2020. Now, the fourth important component of this NEP is reforms in teaching system. Our teaching system is questionable in many aspects. And one of the major questions is this, that if you have a school teacher, you have got a mandate that he should be a trained teacher either at D.Ed or B.Ed or M.Ed level. But if you think a teacher for professional and technical teaching, unfortunately, no system is existing to upgrade his knowledge and to increase his competency. This particular policy is having the suggestions and a implementable structure of organizing the program in this direction by setting up the central and state level agencies in which our senior faculty member can become a part also. There is a need to generate the good amount of teaching, learning material which can be put on electronic platform as free teaching learning resources so that the outreach will also be increased. The fifth component of this policy is the provisions which have been made for higher education. First provision was to develop the policy on the basis of GRE enhancement. In the previous NEP, the target which was achieved for gross enrollment ratio, this gross enrollment ratio was achieved up to the tune of 26%. The meaning is that if the 100 students are entering into educational system at primary level, reaching to the higher education, 26 are remaining. So it is a wastage of human resource which is otherwise talented and can contribute significantly to the economy of the country. So in this policy, the target was enhanced up to 50%, that the students who are entering at primary level, at least 50% should complete their higher educations. So for that, one commission has been set. There are the provisions for multiple entry and exit. We find that if the gross enrollment ratio is less, the meaning is that because of the some or the other reason, the student is leaving the educational stream. And once he leaves that stream, he doesn't have the future. For example, our universities are very strict in this particular thing in setting up the rule that, for example, if a student is not passed and he is failed in a particular stream, for consecutive 2 or 4 or 6 or 8 attempts, he is declared as not fit to take further education. And we feel happy that we have saved the quality of education. But truly speaking, our educational system has never taken care of that because of what reason that student has left the education. The reason may be finance, or the reason may be that the student might have not been given the choice of choosing the discipline. Because still, choice of education in our Indian culture is not to the learner, but it is to the parents. Every parent feels that his son should become doctor or engineer. Other professions are left unturned because we do not know what can be done into it. So if a person is failed in medical, he is out. If person is failed in engineering, he is out. If we provide the opportunity to engineering student that if you are not successful in engineering, can you become good in music? Or if you have left your education at diploma level because of the poor finance, can you continue it with the degree level? Or if you have taken the degree program and not completed 4 years, only 3 years you have completed, we will not declare you as fail. We will declare that you have got the diploma. If you could not complete 3 years, you have completed only 1 year, then you are not failed in diploma, but you are having a certificate. So that the negative terminology of failure can be converted to a terminology of success by awarding them something for his efforts. That will be a motivator for education. This is one of the great points of this national education policy. The fourth point which has appealed very much to me is the academic bank of credit. This is something like this, that today I am finding that one course is very good in Marathwada University. So I will complete that one course, but I find that another course is good in Pune University. So that course I will do from Pune University. So my degree is not restricted to a university, but my degree will be dependent on how many credits I have achieved. Sometimes I may feel that a course can be better taught on electronic platform like Coursera. I can get the credit from them, and these parent university can create a bank where my all credits can be joined together, and once I achieve the minimum credit, a degree will be awarded. This will be a great thing, which will give me the flexibility of choosing my education and its quality. The fourth point which was there, that the removal of MPhil as the bridge course between post-graduation and the research. So by removing them, you decrease the time to enter into research. And the last component of this policy is establishing various councils so as to fulfill various aspects of educations like regulations, general policy framing, providing finances, establishing the standards and standardization of institute, and providing the higher education places where multiple types of educations can be provided. So for this purpose, councils which are proposed are NHERC, GEC, HEGC, NAC, and MERU. These councils are having different responsibilities so as to achieve the universal value of the education. But this policy framing is not a simple task. Like other policies, this is providing a future challenge to us, that making this policy universal, we are opening our door for foreign universities. They will come to India, and if the foreign universities are coming to India, then the cost of the education will be more. So how to face the challenge of expensive education in future is one of the biggest question before the society and government. Second challenge will be, if the good universities are coming, then Indian good teachers, they would like to migrate to those foreign universities platform for better salary and better future. Because our ecosystem is not that nurturing to them for their growth. So if our good teachers will go to those university, Indian university and Indian institute will be deprived of good teachers, and they will have the lesser value for the teaching enrollment. The third biggest challenge is apprehension of changes in cultural value. When you unify something, then there is always the compromise from one pocket to other pocket. You have to give the value to the others. So this triple language formula is probably not acceptable to few of the part of the country, especially the southern part of the country. They have got their own apprehensions, and for which there is a need to resolve them. The fourth biggest challenge in the journey of implementation of this policy is the blame of ignoring Parliament. Although the discussions have been initiated in 2015 in Parliament by that time Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Shri Ramesh Pokhriyalji. But today, the question is being imposed by few of the parliamentarians that this policy is not fully discussed in Parliament. Although this is the question of the past, now we are in the area where this policy is at the implementation. So this challenge we have to ignore. But the biggest challenge above all is the scarcity of the trained teachers who are having the quality. Now, this is a very big thing. If you do not have the trained teacher, right from primary level, our educational base will not be strong. And then talking the education of the universal standard will be a myth. Hope all of us will take up this challenge. We will give our good suggestions to the government, and we will try our best to be the part of educational system to make the future of the country. So dear friend, this is in a nutshell what I understood about the NEP 2020 and now 2022. I have taken the time more than allotted to me. For that, I apologize. If any doubt or any query is there, I am there to answer it. Thank you very much to all of you for patience hearing. Thank you.
Fantastic guidance given by you, sir. Really, it's good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for explaining in a very simplified manner the gist of NEP 2020 and also for highlighting the salient features as well as challenges of the NEP 2020. Thank you very much, sir. Moving forward, I would now like to invite a few participants to share their views on the program that was conducted. So first, I would like to call upon Dr. Sandesh Vayal, Assistant Professor at JSPM's Charak College of Pharmacy, Wagholi, Pune. Sandesh sir, are you there? Yes.
Yes, madam. Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Yes. Very good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank you to Dr. Hemant Jain sir, coordinator of Manvi KICTE sponsored STC, for giving me an opportunity to share feedback about this workshop. The topic which is chosen for this QIP is really appreciable, as NEP 2020 is need of hours, we can say. All the sessions which they have organized here were not only relevant and useful, but also informative and were found to be motivating to delegates. Really, it is fulfilling the aim and objective of QIP. So right from first session delivered by Dr. Atmaram Pawar sir on impact of NEP 2020 on pharmacy education. Then examination reforms, multidisciplinary research, education and innovation by Dr. Patrawale and Dr. Pokharkar Madam, role of startups. Then holistic education, use of ICT tools by Dr. Argade sir. Social and human values, highlighted the importance of NEP 2020. These sessions like importance of physical and holistic approach by Dr. Jain sir, leadership management practices for excellence by Dr. Dias sir, and how to build communication skill delivered by Dr. Pratima madam, yoga and meditation, today's program. Even morning session program by Dr. Abhay sir. So overall, the way which they have organized this short-term course, they give us a wonderful experience. So I would like to thank you to organizer, chairperson, and special thanks goes to Dr. Hemant sir for coordination of STC for non-stop working for successful organization. I'll be very happy if I get chance to attend FDP in PCP again in future. So thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your thoughts. I now call upon Dr. Rajiv Gupta, Principal and Dean, School of Pharmacy, VBD University, Lucknow.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
Namaskar, Namaskar, Maurya Sahab. Namaskar, Pawar Sahab. Regards from Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is reeling with the cold waves and the political scenario. I'm seeing. I would like to thank Dr. Hemant Jain for giving me an opportunity to put my feedback towards this concluding day. I am serving BBD University as Principal and Dean. And with my experience of more than 25 years and the position, you can well understand the amount of responsibility and workload that we have. But one thing I would like to accept that with the core of my heart, that this STP has generated a spark in my heart that still we have to go a long way, still we have to learn, still we have to compete with the young fellows that are entering this line. We have to teach them, we have to make them motivated. And I would like to quote few sessions why I'm stating that there was a spark in me. The first session was of Pawar Sahab. The points that Pawar Sahab put was stark reality. Those are very difficult to understand by others, the problems faced by online teaching and the negative aspects of online teaching and how students are manipulating the things. Sir, I would really like to appreciate those points because nobody puts up those points. And since it was the first session and those problems were taken, I really thank you for mentioning that. There were a few other sessions also, which were of very high quality regarding those things which are minutely missed from the syllabus. Those are about holistic teaching, about the values, because right now we see a lot of indiscipline in campus and in department and everything. One of the reasons might be that we are lagging up on the part of the moral education part given to students. Because our Indian culture teaches us to provide respect to elders and all, but somehow this youth of today is somewhat dissatisfied, and these might be the reasons. So the traditional knowledge incorporation in the session, yogic sessions, and the leadership qualities were also of great quality. And I once again accept that it has generated a lot of spark inside me to learn more things, to be updated, to keep pace with the changing scenario. And once again, I congratulate the team of Bharati Vidyapeeths under the dynamic leadership of Pawar Sahab, well coordinated by Dr. Hemant Jain. And thank you for providing me an opportunity to provide my feedback, which has been, I am highly successful after this attending this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now call upon any other delegates from the audience who would like to share their views impromptu. If anyone would like to share, please come forth.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, one and all. Myself, Dr. Kuldeep Ramteke, Principal Shivajirao Power College of Pharmacy. First of all, I want to congratulate all the PCP team, Jain sir, Pawar sir, as well as the Pukharkar ma'am for arranging this such a nice STC program. So here in this STC program, Pawar sir focused on different ideas that what we can implement through the NEP 2020. Thank you, sir. Then, moreover, the DIAS sir focused on the leadership and all that part. So, some of the leadership qualities we built up through this STC program. Then, the next part that focus was by the Dr. Dr. Khandelwal madam, that we can improve the communication, and through that we can communicate to the people. And next point, that in case of the transform of the motivation, so we can achieve the motivation through Dr. Burande sir, different motivational strategies. And lastly, the most important part, that the peace of the mind. So that part was focused by the yoga session, which is quite excellent session that is arranged by the in this STC program. So I thankful to the Bharati Vidyapit College, Pune College of Pharmacy and Research Center to arrange such a wonderful and excellent STC session for all the delegates. Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. There are many participants who are also putting up their messages on the chat box. Thank you for that. We will definitely make note. Sir, we are now coming towards the end and conclusion of this program, where it is now time to express our gratitude to all the people who have made this program possible. So on behalf of Bharati Vidyapit, deemed to be University Pune College of Pharmacy, I would like to take the opportunity to thank all of those who made this program possible. First of all, we would like to thank AICTE for the sponsorship of this program, and Colonel B. Venkat for his encouragement and for gracing the inaugural function of this STC. We would like to thank our principal, Dr. Atmaram Pawar sir, and chief coordinator for the QIP for his continuous support and for his guidance. Our vice principal and coordinator of QIP, Dr. L. Satyanarayanan, for his continuous mentoring for the conduct of this program. Our vice principal, Dr. Varsha Pokharkar, for her encouragement and continuous mentoring. To Dr. Maurya sir for gracing the valedictory function and for sharing his views on the national education policy. I would also like to thank all our resource persons who have made a lot of effort and spared their time and shared their views on various aspects of the NEP. To all our staff members, teaching as well as non-teaching staff members, to all our student volunteers for helping in all the background arrangement for the smooth conduct of this STC. And finally, last but not the least, to all the delegates from across India for enthusiastically participating in this program, for enrolling for this program. And we really hope that you all have benefited in a very good way through this program, and you have a lot of take-home content from this program. So finally, I once again thank Maurya sir for sparing his time and for gracing our function. And thank you to one and all. Thank you very much.
Madam, can we take the questions asked by the participants?
Sure, sir.
Yeah, no problem. You take it.
So if anybody would like to put forth any question for our chief guest, please let me know in the chat box.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I checked the chat box. There is one question which was asked by Shinde sir. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. We are.
Shinde sir? Hello, Vikram Shinde sir.
Yes, sir.
Are
Yes,
you
sir.
there?
Sir,
Huh.
I'm here.
You
Sir.
prob-
Yes, sir.
You probably have asked the question that what is the role of diploma institute as per
Yes.
NEP?
Yes, sir.
The simple thing is that NEP is a policy. It does not decide the level of institute. NEP is a policy to impart how education should be imparted so that objectives can be fulfilled. As far as your question is concerned, probably it is motivated with the view that a discussion is going on since long that there is no need of diploma education in pharmacy. Am I right to touch your feeling?
Not sir, not like that. If anyone comes in degree colleges, as per the new education regulation, after 12 there is a fourth year, first year, second year, third year, fourth year. So
Right.
diploma institute diploma in pharmacy, there is only 2 years. So if
Right.
the condition is that when a degree colleges, if anyone want to leave, the all can know about the education policy. Somebody at the time of education, at the time of enrolling in the diploma or degree, that time he thinks he can't think कि उसको आगे कब तक पढ़ाई करनी है. तो मान लो
Right.
अगर कोई आज की डेट में कोई आता है डिप्लोमा में, तो उसका ये कंसर्न होता है कि मुझे 2 साल है मेरे पास पढ़ने के लिए, या मैं पुअर हूँ, मैं आगे नहीं जा सकता. लेकिन डिग्री के टाइम पे वो ये सोचेगा नहीं, क्योंकि उसको पता है अगर मैं 2 साल भी करता हूँ तो मैं निकल जाऊंगा, अगर 4 साल करता हूँ तो अगर मेरी कंडीशन बेटर होती है तो मैं कर लूंगा. तो उस टाइम पे अगर वो ग्रेजुएशन कॉलेज, डिप्लोमा डिग्री कॉलेज अगर वो दे रहा है उसको, तो वो डिप्लोमा कॉलेज की तरफ क्यों आएगा? तो उस टाइम पे डिप्लोमा कॉलेजेस का क्या कंसर्न होगा, या डिप्लोमा कॉलेजेस को रन करना चाहिए उस टाइम पे? तो इस हिसाब से मैंने ये क्वेश्चन किया था सर.
Okay. So the answer is very simple, and probably in the talk itself I have said you. The thing is that there are the 3 views. We are not thinking that who will get what. We are thinking that if someone is going into the education stream, if you leave him, you should not declare him as a fail. So if someone has taken the admission in degree and he could not complete it, then we will have to see for how long he was with the institute and how many credits he has completed. So depending on the credit completed, either if full credits are completed, then the degree will be given. If the credit completed are equal to the diploma requirement, then diploma will be given. And if the credit completed for certificate course, then certificate will be given. But no student will be declared as out of education.
Yes, sir.
So this is the philosophy, and accordingly, he is having the flexibility to choose the course. It is not like that in IIT, only engineering education will be there. Now IIT will also be having the facility to teach medical education. They will have. Now in medical, if suppose a student has taken the admission in engineering IIT, but if he feels that my interest in this particular subject of medicine, so he can choose that subject and his credit will be taken. And these credits are deposited in an academic bank, and the bank will decide what has to be given. A degree should be given, a diploma should be given, or a certificate should be given. This is the philosophy, which is quite flexible and will reduce the enrollment ratio, gross enrollment ratio, and we can make the use of that person. For diploma in society, the things of skilled worker is there. For that diploma is there. For a worker, you have the artisan, and then for degree, you have the professional category. But if you go beyond undergraduate, then you are focused to research or innovations. This is the thing which is there. Today, I suppose I could take the education in degree, but I felt that after 5 years, I want to go to research. I should have the open end opportunity to migrate to that. So for every course, there is a lateral entry. I can move anywhere. Clear, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Diploma quite relevant in NEP 2020.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you, Moria sir, for this very valuable points that you have put. Just to add to one thing and to answer your question further, Vikram sir, actually the approach of this NEP, as I mentioned in my talk also, actually it's rather than calling it as a policy, it's a mission, you know, how to make India as a knowledge superpower. So in that direction, the whole exercise is being done. So it's more towards multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary tasks. So you are opening the avenues more and more, broadening the scope. As Sir rightly mentioned, is to improve our gross enrollment ratio of our citizens, like, you know, the children, rather, whatever, you know, towards higher education. So ultimately, there will be establishment of these institutes, what they call as MERU, the multidisciplinary educational research universities, you know. So under that umbrella, all the institutions will be, you know, pulled up, you know, university state wise and university wise. So that is ultimately the approach. And but of course it will go gradually. It is like your apprehension or whatever doubts are there. Yes, everybody will have that, whether all these diploma institutions, what will be the fate of them, you know. But it will be a slow process, like they will be brought under the umbrella, under this multidisciplinary thing, and then they will phase out, you know. So that I think will be the approach. So it will not be any sudden change that is going to take place, you know, because it has to be gradual, whatever it may be. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
May I speak something with your permission, sir? Hello.
Yes, you can speak.
Yes, sir. First of all, I must say thank you to all the organizers for conduction of very beautiful, valuable FDP for us. And just now I want to bring into notice through all the seniors which are present over here, a particular thing which I have faced. AICTE is promoting NEP, and while promotion that, one major aspects came forward as multidisciplinary research and approach. So by conducting all these programs, AICTE is promoting. But what I face, when I have registered for ATAL FDPs, as I am having interest in visuals, augmented reality, virtual reality, 3D printing, all these things are my interested topic. So what I want as a faculty to amalgamate all these things to execute and applicable for the future. But so that what I did, I have applied to 3 ATAL FDPs, but I got the negative response. Herewith I want to put the attention. I got the response that I have rejected to be participated in that FDP. That is a 3D printing FDP. I don't know which organization are organizing that. I'm not blaming on that. And they quoted that you are not belonging to core of the said topic of the FDP. So if this approach will be there, with one side we are going to promote the multidisciplinary approach, and in other side practically we means our faculty is not being allowed to go ahead to take the multidisciplinary approach. How the aim can be achievable, that is my concern, sir. Thank you very much. That is my fact, that is my experience, sir. 2 FDPs have been rejected. I got rejected from these 2 FDPs because I am not belonging to that virtual reality or engineering platform. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. So this is my request that all the seniors, everyone are my seniors over here, to convey my message to the AICTE, and that hurdle can be overcome with your efforts, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Your point is noted, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, Preeti madam.
Sir, can we conclude the program now?
Yes, madam.
Okay, once again, I would like to thank Maurya sir and all the delegates for their active participation in the program. Thank you one and all.
Madam, group photo is remaining.
Yes, kindly switch on, all are requested to kindly switch on your cameras so that